Welcome, everybody, to Suite 301. I'm your host, Christian Smith. Thank you for joining us today, getting a behind the scenes look of all of our core Cult Club Sports leagues right here in the Cult Club Sports headquarters. We're officially live on Facebook, and you can now watch all of our broadcasts on our Suite 301 page in our Facebook group pages, so make sure you're doing that. Also, remember to follow along our Facebook groups and Twitter for the latest news. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cult Club Sports, for videos from around the leagues and also to watch previous episodes of Suite 301. Without further ado, I think we're going to get started right away with Savannah Aarons, the head of softball. Get her on the line to talk about all things softball going on. I know there's a lot of big things happening with the fall season set to kick off here
Hello.
shortly. Savannah, how are you? Welcome to Suite 301.
Hi, I'm great. How
It's
are you guys?
Well, it's just me. It's me and you right now.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good.
Busy?
Busy. Working on these conference schedules for softball. It's tricky.
Putting a puzzle together, right?
A big puzzle that includes lots of weird requests.
Yes. We know that all across all the leagues. But let's talk about, you have a lot of you signed a lot of new teams this year coming into the league. Are there any big names that we want to highlight? Who do we got so far?
Well, we've got since our last Sweet 301 appearance, we've signed quite a few new teams, including just one today, which is SUNY Buffalo.
Great.
Welcome to you guys, literally hours ago.
Nice.
And then Western Michigan, Herkimer College, Valparaiso, University of South Florida, Harvard. We're in the Ivy League now. And Lynchburg College are the
Nice.
ones that have added on since our last Suite 301. So quite
how-
a few new teams.
How many total so far?
Total so far, we've got 12 new teams total, and then another two. So coming on within the next week, Western Illinois and Bear State both have their paperwork in, just waiting to finalize that new team registration fee. So we should have 14 total by the end of next week.
Wow, good for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the fall season, as we know, in the baseball side of
Oh my God,
things.
it's a month from today.
I know it's creeping up on us
Ah.
quickly. How are things shaping up? I know you said you're putting conference schedules together. Are those released? Are there any released yet?
Not released yet. We should have several of them released by the end of the week. I would say quite a few will be posted by Friday. So
Okay.
everybody should keep an eye out for that. If you're one of those few delinquent teams who has not sent in your schedule request form yet, you need to get that in, or basically the schedule will be created without your preferences. So definitely want to get those in if you're one of those few teams that haven't gotten those in yet. And then on top of that, we'll be sending out team preview forms within the next few weeks. So teams should keep an eye out for that.
Okay. And now let's talk about we have the Indy Invitational. That's coming up, correct?
Yeah, that's coming up. It's going to be, I mean, it's so crazy that that's so soon. It's going to be October 8th and 9th, or sorry, 7th and 8th.
Okay.
And we've already got 6 teams signed. So Grand Valley, Central Michigan, Illinois, Cornell, West Virginia, and Notre Dame all have their spots locked in. So there's only 6 more spots left. Quite a few teams have shown interest, so it's going to be those next 16 that send in their paperwork are the ones that we're going to take. So definitely a hot commodity. And with those teams that I just listed, sounds like it's going to be a highly competitive tournament. We've got 2 World Series teams in Grand Valley and Illinois, and quite a few of those teams have also had postseason experience. So
Are those
going to be competitive.
Are those games just exhibition, or can they count them as non-conference? How does that work?
They'll be non-conference. It's an
Okay, cool.
officially NCSA-sanctioned tournament, so we'll be playing by NCSA rules. Games and scores and stats will be counting towards the overall record.
That's great. And I'm sure that's a good warm-up, I'm sure teams are going to be playing some conference games before then, but I'm sure it's a good warm-up to, before conference play starts for them to get in a tournament with such good teams and, help them come conference season, be a better program.
Right. And like I said, with the competition that's going to be there, if a team is looking, towards the postseason, they can definitely see what a World Series caliber team is like in, a Grand Valley or in Illinois
Yeah.
because those are perennial, World Series teams. So definitely something, to set your team goals towards.
Well, cool. I know it was a great event last year, and I believe that was the first year last year, right? I believe it was.
Who?
It was
Sorry.
the Indy Invitational last year
Oh,
was the
yes.
first year. Yep.
Yep, it was the first year for it, and it was an amazing tournament. Elkhart is a great location. The fields are amazing, and the people there remind me a lot of the Columbus Sports Council in Georgia. They're just so accommodating, and they
Wow.
love our teams, and they really want us to be there. So it's exciting.
Well, that's
for not only our teams but for the city. So.
well, great. That's a huge compliment to Elkhart if that's the case. And if you are a softball team out there looking or first time maybe hearing about it, want to join, who do they reach out to? Tracy or Sammy?
Sammy's the best person to reach out to, but
Okay.
Tracy and I also have the information, but Sammy's, the one that's spearheading this, and she'll have tabs on those last 6 spots as to who gets those first come, first serve.
All right, perfect. And then I guess the last things I want to touch on, new rules, paperwork deadlines. What else is happening out there in the softball
Yeah, so
world?
like I said, the team preview forms will be out within the next 2 weeks, and those will be due back before the start of the season, which starts September 15th. So crazy.
Yep.
And we only had one rule change for this coming year, which is the rule about the roster removal period.
Okay.
The rule basically lends itself to being a little bit more open. You can now remove 8 players instead of 5, and they can be removed for any reason, provided that there's documentation. And the date as to which those are being removed. It used to be end of January, now it's end of February. So gives our teams a little bit more flexibility there.
Well, good. Anything else? Anything else to mention?
Oh, man, I don't think so.
Okay.
There's just a lot going on, so I'm excited for the season to start, and roster submission stuff will come out shortly after those schedules are released, so teams
Okay.
just need to keep an eye out at their email. They will be getting bombarded here shortly.
We know that in all the leagues. So, all right, Savannah, thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
See ya. Well, that's good things going on in the softball league. Savannah's doing a great job out there. And speaking of softball and also spring training, let's bring on Tracy Reardon to the set to talk about some spring training showcase. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Sad I can't have the microphone forever.
No. It's all you now. So what's going on? How are you?
Good. It's scary that,
Yeah.
planning an event that's happening in March, and I've been crazy for the last month already, but
I
it's a
know.
good crazy.
Well, it's an awesome event, and we're excited with you taking over the reins of such a big event and a successful event. I guess give us what's out there now. Registration is open for all the teams. Teams are
Yes.
signing up now. Hotels. What kind of stuff's going on?
Everything and anything.
Okay.
Registration for both East and West are open for baseball, as well as East Coast for softball. Reach out to either myself or Alex for anything like that. Emails were sent out to all the teams with paperwork, information about it. Not much has changed for the East. Teams that come year after year that we know are staples down there, they look to expect the emails from us with all the information. And we've already had teams asking us about paperwork and the week that they want to come down and everything. So it's good to see those years that do make it the teams that do make it a tradition year after year, just already jumping back into the swing of
Yeah.
things for that.
Absolutely.
Working on another sponsor trip. Actually, this time next month I'll be down in Florida again, like I was last year, working on getting sponsors for the trip.
And that paid huge dividends. I mean,
Yeah. And we had 3 team nights last year, which Savannah said hadn't been done for a few years before that. So
Yeah. So kudos to you. Great job there.
and we've already been chatting with Circle K Subway, which the staff takes part in, the buy one
And-
get one down there, and all the teams kind of flood in after their games as well. So we
That's
definitely,
good business.
it's awesome.
Sounds like everybody goes there. I mean,
Rachel and I
Yeah,
yelled at the boys that were in there to be nice to the people behind the counter, because
it's always a good thing.
when you have 20 club baseball boys come in all looking for food, it's kind of a little intimidating.
It
So-
is. It's a big rush comes in, I'm sure, all at once. But
And we do have 2 hotels signed already. We're working on other contracts currently in the works. So once all of those are signed and set, we'll get a press release out and all the information out to you as soon as possible. Joe, our new employee, is going to be heading up our rooming reservation type stuff for hotels. You should have all gotten an email about him coming on as a asset and assistant director for spring training this week. So as soon as everyone has their information for hotels, just let Joe know, and he'll be able to put everything together. And STS West, we're rocking and rolling out there. So.
Good. And I know this time of year a lot of teams aren't, most of them are still on summer vacation, so they
Right.
might be a little less apt to be checking their emails right now. But if you're watching, there's been a ton of information going out, and I'm spring training being one of them, to make sure you guys are checking your emails to get all those updates. But yeah,
On the spring training Twitter, we have a account dedicated just to spring training stuff.
Okay, great.
So if they ever need any information
what is
about
what's the
handle? What's that thing called?
What's that thing called?
CCS STS 2018.
Oh, catchy! I like it. Okay.
Thanks.
Anything else spring training related that you'd like to touch on?
That's it for now. I mean, it's like I said, the fact that it's a March event and it's August right now. I don't even know what month it is. And, we're already diving head
Knee
first.
deep into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's nuts, but it's good. It's very exciting. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, we're excited about it, and if there's any teams out there interested in participating, either at Spring Training East down in Tampa or the Spring Training West in Henderson, Nevada, right outside Las Vegas, make sure you get in touch with Tracy. I appreciate your time. Excuse me. I appreciate your time, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor of Cold Club Sports. They offer an early order discount to all of our leagues on top of their already low prices. Go to thegameheadwear.com and check out their wide selection of on-the-field hats, off-the-field boonies, beanies, and visors. Contact Felicia Battaglia at coldclubsports.com for all of your headwear needs.
All right, we're back. I'm Sandy Sanderson, president of Cold Club Sports. Ready to talk about some baseball stuff. Let's move on to the NCBA. Christian, VP of Baseball Ops. You know everything about the NCBA. I know Alex has been busy this summer signing new teams. How many has he got on board so far?
Right now, yeah, he's done a great job. Right now we have 18, which I believe is ahead of the curve where we were last year. Not going to get into all 18 that we have signed, but some notable ones we've had is University of New Hampshire. And the reason they're notable is because it's a brand new state that we're in, which I believe brings us to 45 states that has NCBA representation, which is always huge and something we strive for, is to get into new states. Mississippi State's another one, which is a big school that, for some people might be surprised that Mississippi State doesn't have a club baseball team in our league. Well, now they do. We're excited about getting them on board. Toledo and University of Rhode Island, who were really successful Division II programs, were so successful that they actually started a Division III team in our league, which is really, really cool, and it shows how successful they were in their first years in the NCBA. We also added the University of Richmond, who was a team that had previously been in the NCBA, kind of took a couple years off to kind of regroup, but now they're back. And then UCF is who finished runner-up at the D1 World Series. They had such a successful year last year, and I guess the last few years, that they're able to start a Division II team in our league. So a lot of exciting stuff. I know Alex is every time a new team is signed, he's getting word out on Facebook and social media and such about those. So it's exciting, and we're expecting a lot more. So keep your eyes peeled to the social media sites.
Now, with these new teams coming on board, there's got to be some realignment involved with that. And let's talk about the realignment process.
Yeah, I mean, it's you enjoy it. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's complicated and takes many, many hours. But, yeah, anytime you have new teams coming on board. Some teams may be taking a year off or dropping out. You're going to have to regroup and realign the divisions. With Division 1, all new teams have to start now this year in Division 3. So we're not getting a huge influx at the D1 level. The D1 are usually the best of the best teams, so we're not having a lot of teams drop out. So D1 usually stays the same year to year, maybe adding a couple automatic call-ups and things like that. But you really see the realignment happen at the D2 level and now even at the Division 3 level, that, all these new teams, when they start, no matter how big the school is, they have to start at the D3 level, basically to prove that they can operate and they're a good, successful program. And if they do show us that and they want to move up, they can certainly appeal to do that. But yeah, I mean, this year was kind of a special year where we did launch D3. We're now Division 2. We took some of the teams that had some organizational issues, pulled them from D2, put them in D3, where moving forward, Division 2 is going to be very much like D1, where it's more stable. There's not as much realignment year to year, and we'll see a lot of the realignment taking place just down at the Division 3 level. So it's exciting. I believe D1 and D2, the websites, if you go to the websites, all the realignment is completed there, and you can see where your team falls. If you weren't notified, you should have been notified about any realignment. But yeah, all the websites are updated. Division 3 website, if you're looking on that, we're still adding teams. We're still chasing a couple LPAs, so that's not 100% final, but you can go on there and get a pretty good idea. So
Right, and I think a lot of those Division 3 districts are going to be split, right?
Yes.
Eventually, like as we get the last couple teams on, we'll decide if we're going to go north or south,
Yep.
or south,
yeah, and that's
east or west.
we're just, as of right now, this minute, we're just kind of throwing all the new teams into one big geographic area, and then once we get an idea of more new teams coming on, LPAs, we'll be able to get a better look on how things are going to split. So,
Absolutely. And the annual league meeting
yes.
Was last week.
Yep.
So that's a big piece of the NCBA offseason. Why don't you talk about how that went?
Yeah, we had that on Thursday of last week. It was 7 o'clock start Eastern Standard Time, and it was great. We do it live online. That gives us our best reach, because in years past we've done it and haven't had a huge turnout. So being able to host it online gives us, the ability to reach as many club baseball teams as possible. If you have an internet connection, you can basically tune in. So we've been doing that, doing it live the last few years, and it's been great. We make it interactive so that teams are able to ask questions live, where if they have a question about the presentation, they can put a question into the comments section, ask the presenter, which makes it really nice. And yeah, I thought it's a very informative meeting, and I thought it went really, really well. If they weren't able to tune into the live version of the presentation, it is archived now on YouTube. Another nice thing about the archived version is Rachel did a great job with actually breaking down the presentation into segments. So if you don't have 2.5 hours to kind of sit down and watch the whole presentation, but you're maybe just interested in, some sponsor information, there's a sponsor section of the archived version that you can just click on, and it'll take you right to the sponsor section. So that's a nice feature that we have now, and it's all up on the website. Teams were all emailed the link yesterday, so they can tune in, and I would encourage all the teams to tune in, because there was a lot of great information on that for that meeting.
All right, good stuff. And well, we're in the middle of August.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The school year is quickly approaching. What do you, as people are getting back into the groove of checking their emails, returning phone calls, getting prepped for this coming baseball season, what should they have on their radar as things they need to be worried about, taking care of first and foremost?
Yeah, lots, as we were talking about in softball, lots of things are coming out. So it's extremely important that you're checking your emails, because we've already sent a lot of stuff out. But fall conference schedules, the teams that, at least at the Division 1 level, I know D2s, they're working on it right now, but at the D1 level, all the fall conference schedules have been released and up online. For teams that only play spring conference games or NCBA sanctioned games, they should be on the lookout for the schedule request form coming out. I believe I have it in my calendar coming out August 25th. So they need to be looking out for that. And the other thing is we just sent out on Monday, yesterday, was the equipment order form for your complimentary equipment. And I know teams, even the teams that might not be so communicative with us, as soon as they get that equipment order form, they usually are pretty quick about getting back to you. So that has been put out, so teams need to look out for that. That's the form where you get your request your complimentary equipment. New rules will be coming out here shortly. We're hoping to have those out this week. If they're not out this week, it'll be early next week. So lots of things happening, and you can't stress it enough that teams need to be checking their emails because that's our main form of communication with the teams.
Right. All right. Well, anything else to talk about on the baseball side?
No, just making sure you're checking your emails. There are fall tournaments that are happening this fall, crazy enough.
Wow. Appropriately named.
Yes, we have. We're smart. But yeah, there's several. There's a Greenville Fall Invitational down in Greenville, South Carolina. I believe that's November 3rd through the 5th. I believe that's booked up. We have a tournament I'm hosting, the Butler County Classic in Butler, PA, which is just north of Pittsburgh. That's September 22nd through the 24th. Still looking for teams if they're interested in participating there, as well as the Battle Creek Blast, which I believe that's the 4th annual or so. That's the same weekend, the 22nd through the 24th of September. Wood Wars, which is a permanent fixture, is in a new location this year. I'm not sure if Ryan got information out about that yet, but you're a Gulf Coast team, look out for that. And then the Henderson Fall Tournament, which is out in Henderson, Nevada. That's October 20th through the 22nd. We have 5 teams signed up, looking for 3 more. So any teams interested in that in the West Coast, we'd love to have you. So
those spots will fill up quick. Now that people are getting into the groove of checking their emails.
Absolutely.
They're gonna jump all over this. So don't delay. Don't miss your opportunity.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's gonna take us to the next break. When we come back, we'll talk some club basketball.
Rawlings is proud to be partnered with Call Club Sports. If your team is in need of any products that Rawlings has to offer, contact us today. Rawlings, the finest in the field.
Wilson is proud to be partnered with Cole Club Sports. Whether it be footballs, basketballs, or baseball bats from Dee Marini and Louisville Slugger, Wilson has it all. If your team has any needs for Wilson products, contact us today.
Welcome back, and I'd now like to introduce our newest hire here at Cole Club Sports, Mr. Joe Schaefer. How you doing, Joe?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Oh, it is Joe. It's not Yo.
It is not a silent J. It is Joe.
Okay.
He joins the Cole Club Sports staff as the new Wilson sponsor account manager, which encompasses Dee Marini and Louisville Slugger. So we're really excited to have Joe on board. I guess talk about what kind of duties your new position entails.
Yeah, it's a lot of new stuff. Started last Thursday, so I'm really just playing catch up at this point. But a majority of the Wilson Dee Marini job title I learned today, actually earlier this morning from Eric. A lot of it entails supplying you guys with the equipment that you need. Whether it's bats. I'm specifically doing bats right now, but it's just a lot of it's for, just figuring out what you guys need in regards to the surveys that you guys completed recently. If you haven't completed them yet, please do so. But a lot of it is based upon that. And, yeah, that's basically all I know thus far.
You're learning a lot right now.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
It's
In
unlike
regards
most,
to in
most,
regards to that.
most jobs you get after college, you start and you don't do anything for the first month. That's not the case here. You
No,
know,
not in the
we
least.
threw you
No.
to the wolves right away. So,
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, I
lots,
mean,
lots on the plate, and
we're happy to have Joe on, and he's learning some stuff right now, and will be, supplying you with all your DeMarini Louisville Slugger needs. If you're looking for additional bats and things like that, Joe can help you out.
and on the basketball side, he'll be sending out a survey here in the next few weeks to figure out where to ship your Wilson Evolution basketballs, NCBA game balls. So those will be coming out too, and then. Of course, the football team's already received their Wilson GST game balls there. So, but so talk to us about your background, Joe. I mean, you're from the Pittsburgh area, TJ High School, played baseball. Talk to us about your college career.
Yeah, I went to Seton Hill University, small Division II private institution in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, about 35 miles east of the city. Played varsity baseball there for 5 years. Went back to try to get my master's degree. Still working on it right now. Almost completed with it. And, yeah, basically, it's in a nutshell. I studied sports management. Got a bachelor's degree in 2016. Discovered Call Club Sports, the NCBA, through my parents who actually recommended me here. I was lucky enough the timing was correct where there was a job opening with you guys, and I jumped all over it. It's something I want to be a part of. I saw one aspect of collegiate athletics, through the NCAA, and club athletics in its entirety is something completely new to me, and it's something that I definitely want to be a part of, and I'm excited that I'm a part of it right now. So.
Absolutely. And going back to your high school days, you were a high school varsity athlete in basketball and football as well, too.
Correct. Yes.
So you've got
correct.
a lot of sports knowledge that pertains to everything that Cole Club Sports encompasses.
Absolutely.
I assume you did not play any fast pitch softball in high school.
No, I got cut actually during the trials
Okay.
from the fast pitch
All right.
team.
Well, maybe Savannah will teach us some things about
yeah,
softball.
I'm
so.
sure she will.
All right. Well, Joe, we appreciate you coming on set, getting to meet the crowd, and glad to have you on board. I'm sure.
He raises our average height, office height by 6 inches, which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're really happy, and he fits in right away, which is always good
nice.
with new employees. So we're excited to have you on board, Joe. Those are the last nice things I'm going to say about you
Great.
For a while.
while
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
while you're the rookie.
Okay.
All right, but
All
yeah,
right.
thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks.
Or does he stay on set for a little while? Okay, that's what I thought. I thought there was an exit strategy there. All right, so that's Joe Schaefer. But
Yes. Now
right.
let's get into, now that Joe's gone, let's talk about basketball.
Yeah, basketball. It's been a very interesting couple weeks in the NCBBA. I mentioned a couple things about, we're mid-August. It seemed like August 1st we turned a corner where people started caring about this coming school year.
Yeah.
Where the phones started to be ringing, and I'm getting emails from schools I didn't even know had club basketball teams saying, hey, I'm interested in learning about what you guys are doing. Or, Sandy, sorry I didn't reply to your email in May, but I'm now interested in talking about club basketball for this coming season. So we've added a number of teams in the last couple of weeks.
Let's talk about them.
Yeah, let's talk about them. Bowdoin, which is in Maine, club basketball.
What was it? Bowdoin?
Bowdoin, Bowdoin. Going to be a New England team. They'll obviously fit in the New England North. They're in southern Maine. They're going to be a nice addition. We've added Bel Air Mine into the Great Lakes South. I didn't even realize they had a team, and their paperwork showed up.
It's always good.
So no problems there. Excited about having them on board. And then the Southern Pacific, we've added two. We've started a new region. The Southern Pacific is something we were in talks with teams about last year, but couldn't get anyone to jump on board. Grand Canyon University sent some reps out to our national championship just to sort of scout it out, see what it was about, and they left impressed. So they started spreading the word throughout the Southwest about hey, this is the future of club basketball, and we want in. So they came on board, and then Arizona State just followed on suit, and now we're working with Northern Arizona, University of Arizona, University of Southern California to get the full complement of teams out there for a conference. So,
Great.
yeah, that's going well too. And then I've got verbal commitments from about 8 teams that I'm expecting at any point, maybe even today, I might be able to add another team to the league. And that's just verbal commitments from people that's popped up and said, hey, I'm the new president.
Yeah.
We want in. Send me the paperwork. Let's go. And then probably another dozen teams that have expressed interest that I haven't even upgraded to that verbal commitment level. So we're going to have to, I'm optimistic that we're going to get a lot of these teams. And assuming we do, we're going to have to look at some real realignment because we're going to end up with conferences at 10, 11 teams, and that's too many.
When the season starts November
1st.
Okay.
So right now, the big goal is schedule request forms are out. They're due September 1st. The goal is to get the conference schedules out by September 15th. Now, in the SOPAC, it'll be a little bit delayed behind that because we're still, kind of early in that recruiting process out there. But I foresee, we're right on schedule to release conference schedules by September 15th, so people can start planning accordingly and so forth. So,
great.
Yeah. So you should have a scheduling request form from your conference coordinator or from me. Make sure you get that filled out by the September 1st and turned in, so that we can go through that process and make sure your opinions are taken into account when we do the conference schedules.
Great. Anything else basketball related? Any other deadlines that teams should be looking out for?
No, really, the September 1st deadline is it right now. That's the major thing, is to get that schedule request form in. And if you are out there and you're looking to join, we need your LPA as well as your schedule request form. So get that in right away. If you can, don't wait till you get back to campus in 2 weeks. Sign the thing, take a picture of it with your phone, text it to your club sports director, have them sign it, and send it in. You don't necessarily have to be in the same room at the same time to get that document signed. So.
Absolutely.
All right, but yeah, I think that's the big updates on the basketball side.
Well, good stuff. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to talk about some football stuff.
All right.
Fundraiser is the official fundraising platform of Cole Club Sports. Teams have the opportunity to create a free online campaign to begin accepting donations in hopes of reaching their fundraising goals. Please be sure to contact Cole Club Sports for more information on this amazing platform for all of your team's fundraising needs.
All right, we're back, and we're ready to get into some college club football updates. All college football is right around the corner.
It's an exciting time of year.
It is. It is.
Everybody, summer, it's tough to see the summer end, but it's nice. You get that itch for the fall and football. And
I've got friends that are already trying to plan Saturday morning college football watch parties, and it's here. It's right upon us. So.
It is. Now, speaking of the NCFA, it is right around the corner. What kind of deadlines are we working with on the NCFA side of things?
On the NCFA side, the big thing right now is team preview forms. They've been out for a couple weeks. They're due back September 1st. So once we get those in, we'll start marketing to the teams, but we'll also get that information out to the preseason voters. So in early September, we'll launch the preseason top 10 poll. So September 1st is the hard deadline to get those in. Additionally, this Thursday, we'll be sending out information about rosters, how to get your players registered on the website, how to get your academic letters in, and so forth. So that'll be coming out this Thursday. So those are the big items that people really need to be worried about right now on the NCFA side. A couple teams still owe their performance bond. It's not due till the middle of September 15th. So invoices for those have all gone out. There might be one or two left that still haven't paid it yet, that owed it. But yeah, that's it. Team
Good.
previews, and look out for rosters on Thursday.
All right. Well, good knowing that kind of stuff. Housekeeping for the NCFA. We're also going to have Coach Tracy Davis joining us here shortly with the University of Fort Lauderdale, which is a new team to the league.
Yes, yeah, new team. Tracy came up to our league meeting in, I guess it was that January or February? January, I guess. He came up, braved the cold Pittsburgh weather to leave Fort Lauderdale. I think we should have had the meeting at his place to learn about the league, and decided it was something they wanted to be a part of. So they signed up, and they're excited about it. I mean, we've got two new Florida schools this year, University of Florida and Fort Lauderdale, to grow, give some growth to the South Atlantic Conference, a conference that needed much growth. And here we go with Tracy. Tracy, it's Sandy Sanderson. How you doing?
Hey, Sandy, I'm doing well. And yourself?
Doing great. I'm joined here with Christian. Welcome to Suite 301.
Thank you. Thank you.
I believe this is your first time joining us on the show, isn't it?
That would be correct.
Excellent. Well, hopefully it won't be the last.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully we have good things to talk about every week.
That sounds good. Well, how's the summer camps and the preseason going for you guys, getting ready for this fall?
Camp has been going well. We still have a few guys trickling in, mainly the newcomers who are still getting enrolled and getting their things in. But the vast majority of the guys are here, and we started last week, officially last week. So we're kind of getting together, and they're starting to mesh. Particularly the offense is what we were worried about. Because those guys that we had, the core of the offense is back, so we didn't lose anything. It's just getting the new guys acclimated to to new systems and terminology and things like that.
Talk to us about your summer program. Is it more classroom, film, playbook kind of stuff, or is it a lot of conditioning, weight room, actually on the gridiron?
Right. Because of the unique heat situation down here, you have to spend a lot more time conditioning on our end because the vast majority of the games that we're going to play, it's going to be 90 to 100 degrees or more all the time until we get later in the year. Even in October sometimes it can be a little warm and humid here. So we spend more time conditioning over the summer and kind of getting the guys acclimated to what it's going to be like to be in a classroom. We did have a lot of guys come into summer school because we wanted them to get in and understand what the classroom was about, understand how they're going to have to try to juggle classroom and the athletic side, and that the classroom was more important. We were always stressing the classroom was more important. So it was kind of 50-50, conditioning and getting those guys acclimated to what college academic life was going to be about.
All right.
And Coach, what was the this being your first year in the NCBA, what was the decision process? Why did you want to join the NCFA?
One of my biggest concerns and reasons was stability as we transition upward. As the school starts to increase our sports offerings, our plan is to in the next year to get to our 6th sport level at a minimum. So we thought the stability of the conference was what we needed, particularly in football. I do know some of those other programs that are already in the conference, and I came back to the administration and to my staff and said, I think this is what we need to do to kind of transition. And I don't want to tell my friends up in Georgia this, but I almost kind of wanted to follow the Middle Georgia State kind of way of doing things, how they handle football and their other sports are in the NAIA and kind of how they do things. I didn't want them to know that, but they do today. But we wanted to look at other models, how things were done, and I thought the best way to do that would be to join the conference and kind of grow as the conference grew and as we grew as a university.
Now with this inaugural season in the league. Now, you've had a football program. A lot of your team has been together before, playing football together. This is your first year in a college football conference and a college football league. What does this inaugural season mean to you and your players? Is it the launch of something new, or is it, hey, we're going for the gold ring right off the bat, or what are your goals for this season?
Well, honestly, to them and to myself, it felt like legitimacy. And just to give you an instance, the balls arrived last week. And when I brought the new balls out with the stamp on it and with our name on it, and I brought a couple of them out to practice and gave them to the offense and had them take a look at that and had them take a look at that stamp and had them take a look at our name engraved in their football, it gave them that, okay, we've made this step now. We got a little bit of legitimacy now. And to the people in the area who, sometimes, at some programs, depending on where you are, you're not as legitimate per se because you're not the biggies yet. That gave us a little bit more a legitimacy even in our community. We had some increased kind of outpouring from people after that. I've got some calls from newspapers recently because our guys have they had a copy of the football. They put it out on Facebook and they put it out on some things and Instagram and some things, and all of a sudden, the interest kind of ticked up a little bit. So to them and to us, it was almost the legitimacy is here. So now we can kind of move to step 2.
All right.
And Coach, you're it's your inaugural year, so there's not a ton of rivalry history with teams you're competing against. But are there certain teams you're looking forward to playing this year? Any games you have circled on the calendar?
Even though Florida's team, technically is not their version of junior varsity, a lot of our guys still have that game circle because it is the University of Florida, and no matter what it is, this is South Florida, and anybody, down here, we're close to Miami, and the University of Miami, and FAU and FIU, teams that absolutely hate the Florida Gators. They use that motivation as that's the team that we really, really want to concentrate on because it's just that name, the Florida Gator name is something that everybody down in South Florida hates.
All right.
So, they kind of have that circle, and the Middle Georgia State game, and only because they've been established for a while, and we know that's kind of how we're looking at, modeling as we progress, and they're looking at that to go, okay, if we can get over that hump, then we think we're a step closer to where we want to get, a step closer to December 2nd. Because, that's one thing even though you don't want to kind of get too overconfident, every day at practice I remind them of 2 dates, September 4th and December 2nd. And they all know what that means. We open up on the 4th, and we're going to close out on December 2nd.
There you go. All right, well, let's talk about some of your personnel now. Let's, introduce us to the University of Fort Lauderdale club football team. Like, who are some of the big names on offense, defense that on December 2nd we're going to know that they're going to be a household name within the league?
Right. Well, I'll kind of start with the offense because that's where the majority of the returners would be, and that's we feel our offense is a kind of step above our defense only because our offensive coordinator, I actually played for his uncle, and when we were in high school, and actually we met in high school, almost 40 years ago. And Coach Gray has an offense that he's coached at other colleges and on the high school level here in South Florida. He knows the kids here. So we always thought our offense was above the defense. So we have a couple of gentlemen, and one who, when I sent my paperwork in, for the outlook of the season, our guy who was our MVP, young man by the name of Chad Boyd, who was kind of Mr. Everything last year. Our quarterback went down, He was one of our main receivers. The quarterback went down. He stepped in and took over quarterback duties. He was one of the main receivers. He played on the defensive side of the ball. He was the kicker. He punted. That young man, he's now, he's one of the co-captains of the team. Mr. Boyd is somebody that I think everybody's going to get to know, and he's one of those guys that truly is a Division I talent that, for several reasons couldn't get there. And I always told him, even though, we're a 4-year program, if you want to move up to the Division I ranks, we'll help you do that because you have that type of ability. So that young man is someone that the league is going to have to look out for. We have other receivers that all have been with us. This is technically their 3rd year together because they played together on a sports academy team, a prep team prior to this year. So this will be their 3rd year together. Another young name by the Alex, they call him Pooh. Mr. Davis is another wide receiver that Division I talent that he had offers to go other places but decided to stay home. We have an offensive line that these guys have been together for a couple of years, so we think those guys, they're very experienced. Everybody knows that offense in and out. We have 2 newcomer quarterbacks, but they both come from local programs that our offensive coordinator is familiar with, and they kind of play the same style that we play. So both of our quarterbacks will be brand new freshmen coming in this year. Mr. Luther Allen and JT Walker. So we'll see.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing seeing them on the field and reading their stat lines in the press releases. So, all right. Well, Tracy, we appreciate you taking the time to come on the show with us. Best of luck to you and the Eagles this season coming up, and I'm sure we'll have you on the show again this fall.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
All right. So there's the Fort Lauderdale Eagles in a nutshell.
Well, that's exciting. It's exciting that we're getting down into Florida. I've got 2 teams down there, and yeah, it's exciting. I'll be excited to see how they do. They seem like a legitimate program.
And I love that they, take value in the league for a legitimacy purpose. That they, they get excited to see their team name on a football, to see they're playing in a league where the league logo's on a football, and little things like that can, to an athlete, go a long way.
Absolutely.
I remember the first time I found I was like in high school. I found an NCAA baseball, somewhere, and had the NCAA logo on it. It was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. I also remember in high school when the first time our high school hockey team got our own pucks with our own logos on them. So we thought, whoa, that's like NHL style. That's big time right there. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up today's show, right?
Absolutely, it is.
All right. We appreciate you tuning in. That's our show for this month. As always, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
And make sure to tune in to our next episode, which is September 19th at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us to catch up again on everything that's happening in Colt Club sports. Remember,
it's a game. Have fun.
Have fun.